film that we're going to be studying for this presentation is Bend It Like Beckham, directed by Gurinder Chadha in 2002. This film portrays a variety of social science issues that we will be able to draw upon in order to successfully analyse this film. This presentation will include a detailed synopsis of the film, Bend It Like Beckham, as well as an insight to the issues raised within the film, before concluding with a variety of detailed seminar questions. Carrying out this analysis is Alexandra and Holly Spafford.
Bend It Like Beckham is a comedy film, however raises some quite significant and serious issues. Whilst it focuses on the world of women's football, it addresses issues such as sexism and racism, and throughout this presentation we will be discussing how they are presented in the film and related to the modern society we live in today. The film is based around looking at the issues of two 18-year-old girls with their hearts set on making it within the football world. One of the girls, Jasminda Bamra, or Jess for short, is a football fanatic and is also naturally talented at the game. Juliet Paxton, or Jules, is a player in the local women's league. She spots Jess while she's playing football in the park with her male friends, and Jules convinces her to try out for the team. Through Jess playing within the sport professionally, it goes against her family's traditional values, and Jess is of East Indian origin and from the Sikh religion. Due to this, when Jess's parents find out she's playing football behind their backs, they forbid her from playing any more matches, but fortunately for Jess, her parents are too busy planning her sister Pinky's wedding to notice. In this film, there are many different issues outlined that are found within society. However, we have decided to focus on two: racism and sexism. These are widely noticed issues within sport itself, but especially related to women in football.
The first issue that is highlighted from viewing the film is racism. The term racism is the prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against someone of a different race, based on the belief that one's own race is superior, according to Oxford Dictionary in 2018. An article posted on Little White Lies by Salma Hedrani in June 2018 suggests that Bend It Like Beckham continues to be a viral portrayal of British Asian adolescents. The author of this article claims that being an Asian girl herself, the film had a huge impact for her as well as thousands of others, as it comes across as a narrative which reflected their own personal experiences. The main character in the film, Jess, struggles through many constraints to pursue her chosen career path as a footballer, with one of those being her parents challenging her. They want her to head down a traditional pathway as her sister Pinky did, such as getting the expected grades in her education and getting married to someone worthy. Due to Jess's religious and cultural beliefs, her love for football is very difficult to adhere to. She feels marginalised in terms of her ethnicity. Jess perseveres through her aspiration of making it big in football, despite her parents having other plans for her. Football within this film is used as a platform to achieve a more inclusive society in relation to the idea of multiculturalism, as said by Gamal and Nathan in their journal concerning multiculturalism, gender and Bend It Like Beckham. They go on to suggest that the film is possibly the most sophisticated and nuanced narratives linking both sport and race together. Sport can be used as an arena to ensure that structural inequalities, such as race and patriarchy, can be eradicated through hard work and passion. It can also be pointed out through the same article that this film presents a huge culture clash, as it completely dismisses traditional Indian values. Throughout the film, it is clear to see that Jess's parents disapprove of her passion. This is partly because Jess's father, Mr. Bamra, was not allowed to participate in the cricket club he wanted to when they moved to London due to being of Indian nature. This is another example of how racism is portrayed within this film. Despite previously playing cricket in India, Mr. Bamra was denied entrance participation, Therefore, his discouragement towards Jess's passion for football is concerned with him not wanting his daughter to suffer the barriers to participation as he did. Furthermore, we can look deeper into the combining cultures through the use of the British Indian girl in the film wanting to be called Jess rather than Jesminda. In the book A Fair Game, written by Artie Ratner, it is suggested that the adoption of English-sounding names is so that the individual can negotiate access and entry into sport, as well as other aspects of life in which British Asians have historically been excluded from. It could be said that Jess aspires to be a footballer in the Western culture, therefore would do anything she could to get herself there. Through research of her book, Artie came to the conclusion that research participants do not want to be named by their ethnicity, but rather as players of women football.
The second issue that we're going to look at is sexism. Sexism is the prejudice, stereotyping or discrimination typically against women based on sex. That's according to the Oxford Dictionary 2018. Throughout the film, there are many scenes that are influenced by sexism and sexist views of society. An example of this is that Jules' mum presumes that she is a lesbian just because she plays women's football. This is in fact a stereotype that is still used in society today, highlighting that even though Bend It Like Beckham was produced in 2002, the issues surrounding the film are still relevant in modern society. A quote from Jules' mum in the film explains the stereotypical judgment of homosexual women being the only type of women to play football, with this quote being, "All I'm saying is, there's a reason why Sporty Spice is the only one without a fella." This quote suggests that in 2002, women were seen as nothing without a man to support them and couldn't be seen to stand on their own, as well as the obvious that sporty women were presumed to be homosexual. As suggested by Artie Ratner, sexism is a highly important topic to be highlighted within football, even over racism, as we know about the discrimination that women have had to endure in order to play football in the first place. When looking at the past, women were banned from playing football professionally for 50 years, so from 1921 to 1971, showing the difficulties that women had to get back into playing the game after the ban was created. We are not in the right place in society in this day and age to undervalue the relevance of sexism. However, it is not the only form of discrimination that occurs within the game. Sexism can be highlighted next to homophobia quite easily, as it is easy to strip women of their feminine masculinity and tend towards the blame of it being because they are lesbians. This shows that football was and still is seen as a male sport. Jane Caldwell in 1999 explained that when the alignment of sex and gender is looked at in feminist politics, the notion of female masculinity is not embraced. This suggests that females are not able to display their masculinity without being defined as lesbians. This is still true today, even though Caldwell wrote about this in 1999, showing females within sport, and especially sports that are seen to be male-dominated throughout history, are difficult to be able to integrate into society. It is clear to see through this analysis of the film that racism and sexism are still prevalent throughout the society of today. However, through feminist research and action, the changes are starting to be made around the issue of sexism. In comparison to this, the stereotypes of females in football will be harder to dismiss because of the historical nature of the stereotypes. Racism is also a difficult issue to completely eradicate. However, there is work being completed by different individuals in ethnic minority groups around the issue. They are looking to make a change, but will have to overcome boundaries due to the background of racism throughout the history of our society. When looking at the analysis of Bend It Like Beckham and the issues raised throughout the film, it can be suggested that through media, a deeper knowledge and understanding can be gained. This, however, does not mean that issues including racism and sexism are close to being eradicated. As mentioned earlier, they are still sown deep down into our society.
In order to gain a further understanding of our film analysis, we have prepared 5 seminar questions in which we hope will help others to further develop their self-awareness of the issues raised, as well as gain a deeper knowledge and understanding of how these issues are still present in our society today. Question number 1. Has anyone ever experienced racism in the form that Jess has, i.e. disapproval from family or friends concerning their culture or religion? Question number 2. Is it likely in society today for a random person to approach you in a park in relation to your sporting skills, as Jules did with Jess in the film? Question number 3. Do you think that Jess was right to disobey her parents, culture and religion to follow her aspirations? Question number 4. Does anyone here have an experience of being stereotyped as a lesbian from participating in football? And finally, question number 5. How much of an impact did Jo, the football coach, if any, have on Jess's decision to continue her dream career, despite her being discouraged due to the discrimination? In order to ensure we successfully analysed this film, we worked closely on the references shown to gain an extensive knowledge on the theories surrounding the issues raised within the film of Bend It Like Beckham. Through these books, journals, websites, etc., the issues of racism and sexism have become clearer to understand concerning how they are present within society today.